This is the Dungeon Master's Handbook. Hi everyone, it's Mike Shorten, Chicago Wiz, and I believe this is episode 32. I'm doing a driving podcast, so I'm not quite sure which episode this is. It's COVID Thursday, and just getting back from an early morning run to the grocery store. Never realized how much food teenage kids eat until you're stuck at home with them 24/7. It's been an interesting adventure. Hope you all are doing well. It's interesting to see how things have kind of changed a little bit. Podcast readership is down all across the board. Playing a lot more games, and a lot more people seem to be playing games online. In fact, just had a test session with my tabletop players. We're going to migrate to Zoom and Roll20 for the next 2 to 3 games, or however long this lasts. Here in Illinois, in the Midwestern United States, we have a fairly progressive governor who has locked down the state for 30 more days, and considering the city of Chicago is within our state, I think it makes a lot of sense. We're a high-density, high-travel state, especially here up in the northern parts. The southern parts of Illinois are way more rural. It's almost like night and day traveling from Chicago downstate. Anyway, so this is going to last a little bit longer, and gaming's going to change a little bit. I have to admit, I have not been listening to y'all as much as I should be because, I miss my commute. I had a half hour each way. That was an hour of listening to all your thoughts and ideas, and I've been a lot busier. I've been busy with work. I'm part of a regulated medical waste company, and as you can imagine, with all the testing and the increase in hospital visits and everything that's going on with Corona, our business has just gone crazy right now. So I've been busy with all that, busy helping take care of kids with their schooling and then keeping them entertained with gaming and whatnot. I'm about to introduce my 13-year-old to wargaming through that classic game of Stratego. I played Stratego, long time ago. So I was really happy to see it was still available. Bought a brand new set and gonna teach her a little bit about wargaming. We'll see how that goes. But it's just stuff like that, and that's been keeping me real busy. Converting all of my games that were at one point tabletop or less involved in Roll20 now into the Roll20 platform, and kind of been doing a trial by fire, learning how it works, learning how the macros work and the character sheets work and whatnot. Fortunately, my games are simple, so I don't have to set up a lot, but there is still some overhead that I'm not used to. It's kind of a different type of prep. Before it'd be sketching on a piece of paper or graph paper and noodling some notes into Google Drive. Now the idea that in order for people to get visuals, you got to throw something on the screen, whether it's researching images or scanning my chicken scratching and actually putting it into Roll20 and blowing up the map, and then removing all of my secret stuff and all my notes on my maps. It's just a different workflow, and it's taken more time. So these kinds of things are transitions, and it's just soaking up my time. Here I thought I was going to have a lot of time to paint miniatures and get armies done, and I got to be honest with you, I've maybe completed 2 figures in the past 2.5 weeks of staying at home. So I can tell you how my time is really spent differently. I kind of wonder if the same is true for you all, if you're kind of finding the same thing. And judging by a couple of y'all's podcasts, like Tim Shorts over at Gothridge Manor, sounds like he's his time has changed, and Jason at Nerds RPG Variety Cast, that poor guy is going to be busy for the next few weeks. It sounds like he had to drop out all his games, including a couple of mine. So yeah, interesting times. I just hope you all are keeping safe. I am going to have a couple of things coming up in future episodes. One of them is someone on Reddit, the AD&D subreddit, was asking a little bit about pursuit and evasion and complaining about the rules there. And I've taken a look at those rules, so I'm going to take another look and go through it and see if I can demystify it a little bit, or confirm that, yeah, this is really a very complicated subsystem, as we found some of them are. And another suggestion came from Jason in one of his voicemails he's left me. He suggested I go through Unearthed Arcana for first edition. Unearthed Arcana is a set of optional rules, and according to what I've read, it breaks a lot of things, but there may be some good ideas. I have never really read it before. I've skimmed through it a couple of times and never really given much time or much thought to the book, but you know what? I've got a tradition now where before I go to bed, I try to read for about an hour and a half, or not an hour and a half an hour to about 45 minutes. Winds me down, and we'll see maybe if I can spend that time and read Unearthed Arcana and let you know what I think of it. Thank you very much for the kind comments about doing the episode with my wife. She had a great time. In fact, we're about to play another game here soon in her campaign. I've had to do a quick research on the different types and ways that elven lands and fairy lands have been presented, and I'm thinking more of like the Seelie Court and the Unseelie Court and the real mysterious, far-off arcane elves, not the more Tolkien elves that are just like fancy humans, but really weird, chaotic, in your face with how odd they are kind of elves. And to do that, I was reading a book called Three Hearts, Three Lions. It might be reversed, might be Three Lions, Three Hearts, by Poul Anderson. It was a book that was written in the 60s. When you read it, it's an interesting book because it mixes sci-fi theory with fantasy and a little bit of the Arthur Carolingian mythology. It's a very interesting read. It's not a very long book, but it's a densely packed with ideas book. I can certainly see why Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson listed it as a influence on D&D, because there are so many things in that book that are just direct takes, like alignment, chaos versus law, paladins, how trolls work, the troll battle. Oh my goodness, it's given me an idea now how I'm going to run trolls, because the troll in this book, I don't want to spoil it for you, it's towards the end, it is a heck of a battle. I was excited reading it, which doesn't happen very often. So did a little research, got my ideas for how I'm going to run elves now, so I'm prepared for Angie's next game. And of course, I've got the family 5th edition campaign that I'm running. I've got an Audio Dungeon game that I'm running with a couple of folks from the Audio Dungeon. I'm doing a old school dungeon delve using 1st edition AD&D. I'm running that early on Saturday mornings. Hopefully my friends from the UK and in other time zones will be able to make that game. So we'll see what happens there. So yeah, busy doing a lot of things, actually playing a lot of games instead of painting minis and terrain, and working my butt off. Anyway, I'm here at home. Sorry about the noise and whatnot, but hopefully this won't be too bad of a episode and you'll hear everything. Please stay safe. Please stay well. If you are in a place where they're saying stay at home, please, if you can, stay at home. We need to flatten this curve. I'm just watching the numbers, and it's truly scary times right now, and I don't want to read about any of y'all getting sick or, God forbid, passing away from this. So stay well, stay safe, have fun playing, and game on.